Let's be honest. If that man falls down, that cat is going to eat him. He's small enough that cat's like, you're dinner.
That's right. Like a Maine Coon or something? Oh, my God. Here? That's dunzo.
God damn it.
I had a 115-pound friend that, like, her cat would look at her weird. And I was like, that cat doesn't respect you at all.
I mean, that's like you saw him with Tyson. And it takes a second for you to realize, oh, Tyson thinks he's a child. He doesn't realize he's a grown-up.
He picked him up and was like chewing on his ear. I was like, dude, that's a grown fucking man.
Now they got Hasbulla loves his cat videos.
That's a grown fucking man you just did that to.
Listen, the man became famous for no reason. He was one mistake away from it being taken away.
I don't know if this is it.
I hear Hasbulla, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, he starts grabbing it by the ear and chasing it around, and he was beating it up inside its little cat box when it ran away.
No, this is, man, they took that video down so fast. Everything is Hasbulla loves his cat videos now.
I bet. It's amazing how you love your cat.
Yeah,
when the
whole world wants to come and get you.
Exactly.
Yeah, about to lose that fame and fortune you were making. You were getting flown out to all kinds of events and private things, and
he's done. I think he actually has a contract with the UFC.
Bro, he went everywhere with Khabib.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Hasbulla has
and
a
Islam
contract.
Makhachev. They're like inseparable.
He's
the mascot, essentially.
I was gonna say he's like, what was the name of the leprechaun from the WWE?
Oh fuck, Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle.
God damn
He's
it.
the UFC.
Like,
actually, that's something we can fucking
dink.
talk about. That's something we can talk about. The fucking UFC and WWE are merged now.
The parent company's buying. Yeah.
No, they're one thing
it's
now.
done?
They're one thing. It's called Endeavor. They're one thing now.
Wow, you hit it.
They're
Up.
one thing.
Oh, it's already started.
The traditional.
Oh, there we go.
Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast. I think. I guess.
I think.
Maybe.
Is this real life?
I think we've merged two with
yeah.
track board.
With something. With our alter
there.
egos. Something's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Nelson, if that matters.
I'm Ian, if you care at all.
Ed.
And
you go.
that guy. So
a lot going on. A lot of trailers.
Yes, lots of trailers.
Stuff.
But let's dive a little deeper into this WWE UFC merger. I mean, are they going to keep them separate entities, or are they trying to bring more of the flamboyance over into the UFC?
I saw a lot of videos of like Daniel Cormier interviewing like Brock Lesnar, and I saw Volkanovski and Rob Whittaker dressed as Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold. I saw a lot of crazy shit.
We've had like dipping going back and forth between the two brands before anyway, but if they can hopefully, because they have so many good fighters, they have backstory, but we never get any of it until like, it's like so gone past that it no longer matters. The person's already, on the downswing, so you're no longer getting a chance to cheer for them. So if they can kind of get the media machine that WWE has and puts behind their fighters that they do fictitiously and put it behind the real fighters so we can get some kind of story on these people we're watching,
I think it could be
you can get some more draw on the real fights.
Well, professional wrestling and fighting have been like they're like they're parallel. They're right next to each other.
Foot.
Guys have crossed over all the time. Matt Riddle started out in the Ultimate Fighter, started out MMA. Now he's a pro wrestler. There you go.
Ken Shamrock,
Ronda Rousey,
Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
There's a whole host
CM
of people
Punk.
that have gone back and forth. Some successfully,
yes.
Others not so much.
But you know what? I think it really could do it. That's a good point. It's pretty
Actually,
valid.
even Batista's had a professional MMA fight.
Yeah.
Yep. Jack Swagger, Bobby
Lashley. Yep. Yeah, there's quite a few of them. But if they dive more into storylines, if they dive more into some theatrics, I don't think it can hurt as long as the fighting stays real.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle would have been a hell of an MMA fighter.
Oh my God,
he would have been a monster.
Yeah,
he
was
Jesus.
Even somebody as big as the Big Show. There are really
maybe in Japan
very few super.
You're not fighting stateside.
Super heavyweights. I mean, but his hands were big. If he had some more traditional MMA fighting,
500 pounds, they don't have a weight class for you.
That's what I'm saying, bro. No. Bring him in. Let's hit somebody.
They'll have him fight a 150-pound guy over in Japan.
He did fight Rey Mysterio several times.
If he goes to Russia, they'll have him fight 400-pound guys.
Or 6 midgets or something.
To equal up. Yeah. They're they're equivalent weight now.
Yeah, I'd watch.
You know what? At this point, put Hornswoggle. Oh, no. Hasbulla in the ring with an MMA fighter. Or Hasbulla versus 3 cats.
Well,
right?
Russia, anything goes.
Yeah. I mean, but throw him in the ring with some cats as redemption. but like some
Or a bigger
legitimately
cat.
bigger
A bigger cat.
Yeah,
Like a bobcat.
I mean, a bobcat might just kill him. He's a small man.
A bobcat might kill me. So let's be fair. Hezbollah versus a bobcat, that's dinner. That's dinner.
But aren't there like those house cats that are kind of like
Oh,
borderline?
Savannah cat. Yeah.
Get them in there with a couple of Savannahs. Now you got to close the top of the cage.
A couple of Savannahs. A Savannah cat's bigger than
Don't feed the cats for a couple of days.
Okay, this is just murder.
Right?
This is
and
murder.
just wrap them in tuna.
All right, now we're just...
Now you got to fight for your life.
He's
Now
a-
we're executing him.
I mean, he's a grown adult with probably the strength of a 5-year-old. A house cat might legitimately be a problem for him if that cat really decided to attack
That's
him.
what I'm saying. Like a bigger house cat, like a Maine Coon,
Yeah, I mean,
angry.
when is the last time you tried to capture an angry house cat?
You can't.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go to the ER. You can't.
It is a problem.
Now, not defending him, but to play devil's advocate, he does come from a different region of the world
Where they beat cats.
where they really don't give a fuck about animals.
They
the same
wrestle
way that we
bears.
do.
Yeah, true.
He comes from a place in the world where they wrestle bears.
Yeah, I mean, there are
But they left him out of that.
there are parts of the world where they treat animals completely inhumanely. It's just that he's adopted a very Western lifestyle, being on the videos all the time. That I think that he thought that was okay in his brain. Because why would he post that? Why would his team allow it to be posted, knowing that he's kind of like this little quirky, beloved asshole midget?
Yeah, because to them it
So that
probably
was like
means nothing.
that was a Conor McGregor moment.
But I mean, let's be honest. We've
It
had
was.
plenty of athletes out here who've gotten caught for dog fighting. And people look the other way because, hey, they're pretty fast when they get the football in their hands. So, fuck it.
That's true.
But that's the difference.
God, what a good quarterback.
Actual tangible talent. What does Hasbulla do?
Listen,
What is his talent?
in
He's
the
adorable.
age of the Kardashians, you don't need talent to be famous.
This is true.
That is literally all it is. You're
I-
famous because you're famous.
Island Boys. I rest my
Oh,
case.
God.
yeah,
I rest
no
my case.
no talent necessary to
I
be
see
famous.
them on my Snapchat feed every day. I have never. I don't Google them. I don't search them.
hate
Why am I
them.
looking at them?
Yeah.
And now I'm talking about them, so they're going to be on my feed again.
First
Right,
time, the first
exactly.
time I saw
I hope they're not on my feed.
half a second of an image
Boys,
pop
Island
up,
Boys.
I went, I don't want to even fucking know, and I just kept moving.
Yeah.
Oh, I just like watching their videos where they box, like what they're doing. They're hitting. Pads.
Oh,
Oh
Like
my God.
because it's fun to watch idiots hit themselves.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
It really is.
I have to agree.
But it could mean big things like these two companies merging. You know.
I think so. It could even equal out to more pay for the fighters, right? Because the bottom line is, if the company itself is making more money, making more headlines, and having more viewership, then that equals to potentially more pay and opportunities for them. And also, it could give a place for some of these fighters to land when their careers are done.
It could be security too for the WWE because I thought for a while there they weren't doing well.
No, and that's what it is.
I mean,
they need a
and that's
shake-up.
why you've seen them starting to do shows on off days, pay-per-view shows on off days, because they were getting paid by like Saudi princes to just come in and do a show for them. So when you saw those weird shows on a Saturday, it wasn't because they finally decided to not do a show on a Sunday night, which is a shitty time for most people. No, they were getting paid to do it on Saturday in another country.
You can't. You can't match the money that the Saudi princes and stuff are throwing out there. You can't. That's one of the things that people are speculating is going on with the heavyweight championship between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. They the negotiations fell through. Like they don't know why they can't make this fight. Everyone thinks that they're gearing up for a December fight in Saudi Arabia, where they will get paid astronomically much more money.
Tons more because
like you're talking like $100 million.
Good for them.
Because the royal family wants to sit front row. Hey, put it off for 30 more months, 4 more months, whatever it is. You can't blame them because let's be honest. If you're in professional fighting, you're quite literally selling some of the end of your life for the sake of money.
Yeah.
Right. You might as well get paid as much as possible.
There's very few fighters you see at the end of their life where you're like, oh, they're all still there.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of any other reason why it would have fallen through, especially since like they even got to a point where like it was like Tyson Fury was asking for 70-30.
Right.
Like 70% of the purse. Alexander Usyk accepted it. And all of a sudden they said negotiations still fell through. I think they're just playing around and
Trying to see how much more money they can get out of it.
I mean,
You know what?
are you going to fight for $30 million in Wembley Stadium in England, or are you going to fight for $150 million in Saudi Arabia?
$150
Yeah.
million
I'm fighting for
all
100.
day.
That's right. I'm fighting
long.
for $150 million.
Yeah, no, for sure. I have to go with
I'm
that.
going to make them wait.
So what are your thoughts on the fights tonight with
That's right.
Gilbert Burns and Jorge masvidal.
That's right. By the time you guys watch this, the fight will already be over. But
Yeah.
just in case you don't know, today's date of the recording is the night of the UFC in Miami.
Correct.
I think Jorge's going to have all the support in the world. I think when he comes out, it's going to be so loud you can't even hear.
Right.
Yeah.
He is the 305's boy. That being said, I think Gilbert Burns eats his lunch.
Yeah.
And I think the longer the fight goes, the worse it is for Jorge. So
When you say that Gilbert Burns is a Florida native, though, like he is all over Florida.
he is,
like,
and he's been here for
and
10
a
years.
beloved fighter.
But
in
Jorge
Florida.
Masvidal, after that knee,
Street Jesus.
yeah, after
Yeah.
that knee, he kind of catapulted
There's-
himself to start.
Yeah.
Like me personally, like once you get into professional fighting, don't fuck yourself around doing dumb shit on the streets and then lose your chance to do fighting.
Yeah.
But Masvidal does that. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that like fighting that are like, oh, he's throwing sucker punches like we do. Yay. Sure, the asshole that wants to be champion. Personally,
But to
I
be
like it.
fair, Colby Covington fucking deserved it. I mean, what he was saying got very, very personal. And if you really dive into the dynamics of their relationship, Jorge Masvidal went out of his way to do a lot of good things for him. And so he was trying to do good things for him when he was in a bad place. And, and then he takes his personal, private life while he was there and airs out his dirty laundry. It's kind of fucked up.
I get it.
Oh, it
I
is.
get
That's
it. I get
fucked
it.
up.
And I would probably feel better about the sucker punch if he wasn't already given 25 minutes to do something about it.
Okay.
And
All
didn't
right.
do anything.
and
about
that's
it.
and that's
Fair enough. Fair enough.
and that's part of the problem. It's like if this man really disrespected you that bad, get in your gym, get your training in, because you're getting the chance to put your hands on him.
For 25 minutes.
If you failed, well, fuck. Maybe you weren't motivated enough
or maybe
to do something.
Maybe you just can't beat that man unless you sucker punch.
And then, you know what? Sucker punch it is.
and that's
All
what
I'm
it was.
saying is, he's like, you know what? I tried for 25 minutes. I couldn't. The reality is, I still got to get my punch in.
Yeah.
You know
Oh,
what
he
I
did.
mean? And
he did.
And he did what he had to do. So you know what? I'm on Street Jesus side when it comes to the sucker punch thing, man. Even though he had the opportunity as a professional fighter.
Well, he made a good point in the fact that he sells a lot of pay-per-views. He does.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said that Colby Covington never got above the views that Jorge did.
Right.
He is correct.
Right.
Even Colby's biggest fight with Kamaru never got above the pay-per-view buys that were. I mean, in fact, I think Colby's biggest, his biggest pay-per-view draw was when he fought Jorge. So they're gearing up for the fight with Leon. Jorge has a grudge with Leon. He
Right.
says, "I don't care what Colby says. If I win tonight in Miami, I can make my case for a title shot."
Nice.
He is not wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
He has some validity there. That being said, I still think Gilbert Burns showing up with suspenders and an afro, that's a done deal.
That's
man.
top tier shit, bro. That's Afro Samurai.
you show
shit
up-
right
yeah.
there, bro.
But also, Izzy showed up tonight with a dog collar on and some kind of weird like samurai dress on. Not the best look. I was like, all right, I get what you're
He
going
said
for.
not the best look.
I didn't see it. I didn't see.
Was
what
it like
but
some
Oh.
cyberpunk mashup?
he always comes in with he's
it was something like anime / Jet Li in the movie.
That's what I was gonna
Unchained.
say.
Yeah.
He's big into anime, so it might be some kind of something we might not have caught wind of
some
quite yet.
obscure anime
Yeah.
It came
reference.
off as some weird kinky fucking. I don't know what the hell he was going for. man.
Animes
I was like,
become mature enough that now you have people like, oh, you like that one? Well, then you must not know about this weird. Like, oh,
yeah,
really? Do we need that kind of
Yeah.
dumb shit? And can we just not get along for once?
Yeah.
Does every brand and every little genre need to have that asshole come in and be like, well, you don't know about this one over here? Like, fuck you.
yeah, like what you like. Goddamn it.
Yeah, yeah.
But Izzy's kind of got his work cut out for him tonight because Alex Bahia is fucking terrifying. He's absolutely terrifying. He has knocked the shit out of everyone he's fought, including Izzy in their last fight. Izzy was winning probably almost all the rounds. Till that 5th round, he got caught in the last minute.
And that's what it takes sometimes. So what's your prediction for that fight?
I don't know. I mean, if you look at the evidence, they fought twice in kickboxing. Alex won twice, knocked him out one of those times. And the last time they fought in MMA, even though that's supposed to be Izzy's world, Alex knocked him out. There are some people that just have people's numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Izzy. I am rooting for Izzy tonight.
Yeah.
That being said, I am not confident enough to put money on him.
I got you.
Unless he's coming in with something new.
A dog collar.
Something that he's been missing that whenever he goes against
Samurai
this
pants.
guy. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
if you lost every single time, and the guy's doing something that you're failing to see until it's too late.
Yeah, there's just some people that beat people. Like a good example I always use is George Foreman against Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
Joe Frazier was a great fighter.
Yeah.
Great fighter. And you put him up against all these other guys, Muhammad Ali, all these other dudes. He even won one against Muhammad Ali, and he went the distance with great fighters.
Right.
George Foreman knocked the shit out of Joe Frazier.
He had his
He
number.
just had his number.
Yeah.
And they fought years after he knocked the shit out of him. He knocked him out even more brutally. And I was like, okay, they could fight 100 times, and George Foreman's going to knock him out 98 times.
Some would say
Guaranteed.
that Hasbulla has his cat's number.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's at least that's the word on the street. The word on the street is, he's pretty
knocking
tough.
the shit out of his cat.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to see him against a bobcat, though, or something
too,
a larger species of cat.
Put him in there. Put him in there. I'm down. Another switching gears. Some of the trailers we did see today, I can't unsee it. It's the Barbie trailer.
Oh yeah,
I didn't want to see it.
I'm surprised Dustin wants to start with the Barbie trailer.
I do,
it was
because I
my
gotta
idea.
get this off my
It
chest.
was my idea.
Ian's
It
idea.
was my idea to watch it.
Eddie backed his play.
I said go ahead.
Why
It looks
not?
like it's gonna be a musical, right? It
Right
also
up my
looks
alley.
incredibly fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But goddamn, they got some good cast members in there.
They did.
They got a lot of good
Will
people
Ferrell,
in it.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, I mean,
The amount of self-reference
Ryan
in
Gosling?
there
Simu Liu?
is absurd.
even
Because-
the other kid, the little kid.
Because there's like a dozen different versions of Barbie and like a dozen different versions of Ken, and so you have them all saying "Hi Barbie, hi Barbie, hi Barbie, hi Ken, hi Ken, hi." So
there's
they're
something so stupid about it that
Yes.
it's funny. Yeah, yeah. Even the
You're gonna get beached off.
long trailer, I was just like,
the beached off scene was funny.
I was
it
trying,
was legitimately
I was
funny.
trying not to laugh, and it was fucking funny.
Listen,
It was.
Michael
I'm
Cera's
going-
in there. They got
That's it. Yes,
they got a
Matt
ton
Cera.
of Matt Cera.
Matt Cera.
No,
Michael Cera.
Michael Cera.
Matt Cera is the guy that knocked out George St.
Yeah,
Pierre.
Okay, that guy
yeah.
too.
Matt Cera held down the drunk asshole in
Yes,
the restaurant.
yeah,
Remember?
okay,
Matt Cera is
yeah,
a
yeah,
jiu-jitsu
Easy.
legend.
Yeah.
So Michael Cera versus Hasbulla.
Yeah, you don't want to confuse the two.
Yeah. I think that's a fair fight. Michael Cera versus Hasbulla.
Michael Cera is like 11 feet taller than Hasbulla.
But he looks like he weighs all of 40 pounds.
That's not fair. Not a fair fight at all.
I think it's a fair fight.
Listen, I'm gonna see the Barbie movie just for Margot Robbie's
Fuck,
feet.
I
Just
can't.
just for Margot Robbie's feet. I'm going
It's
just
still
for
a
that.
hard pass for me. I'll let you guys watch it first, and then if it's funny enough, I'll go in.
Okay,
All right.
we'll see it twice.
We'll see it twice. Another movie that
I have an easy excuse. Take my daughter.
Yeah, there you go. Another movie that I didn't know
I'll dress up as your dog.
we needed a second version of
Oh,
is the movie with Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, Extraction
Extraction.
2.
Extraction 2.
I didn't even see the first one.
I saw the first
It
one.
wasn't bad.
I thought it was like an Indian film. I thought it was like made by an Indian company.
Yeah, it very
and
well
they
could
just
have been.
paid Chris Hemsworth a lot of money.
I
to be
mean,
the lead.
he's taking it easy and taking a break from doing another movie.
Right.
okay.
But I bet it's a lot less of a scale of work when you're doing a Netflix movie versus
Chances
doing
are,
an
chances
Avengers
are, it
movie.
was already in the can.
That's
Right.
true too. That's true, too.
Documentaries, I think they tend to come out faster than
Well-
full production movies. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, this movie, it didn't look like it. I mean, at least I can speak for Extraction 1. It didn't look like it took a lot of effort to film.
And Extraction 2
just
just
saying.
looks like one long fight scene from
Yeah.
the trailer, right? It just looks like he doesn't even have time to put the fire out while he's fighting.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that they're just gonna try to action pack jam it from beginning to
It,
end.
it looked like a video game fight scene.
They're going to try to John Wick it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's
Yeah.
that. I think
That's the
that's
term
going to
now.
be the trend. They're going to hype up and hyper realize the fighting and everything like that, just to give it a little more. Movies they used to be like that, and then they started trying to make them grounded in reality, and people are like, we just want to be entertained.
Yeah.
Just make it fun.
Yeah. I mean, like Bullet Train, right? We also saw Bullet
Yeah.
Train.
That was a
it was
great
a
movie.
fun movie.
I love
great
that
movie.
movie.
It wasn't
was
really
fantastic.
overly thought out. It was
No.
just here's the plot, a lot of action, a lot of comedy,
Yep.
a little bit of weird in there, and a redemption story at the end. The only thing I still hate about the fucking movie,
Wait a minute. Hold on. What is this?
Sandra Bullock at the end. Could
the
have
whole-
done without her.
The whole 3 seconds
The whole
that she's in the
she
movie.
spoiled the whole fucking movie by
Oh,
being
come on,
in
man.
it with her plastic face. Anyway.
She looked great for it.
Yeah, fuck. Well, yeah, right. She paid for that shit. They melted some of the bus from Speed 1 and put it on her face. Another trailer that we seen today, very good one, I would say, is Secret Invasion.
Yes.
Looks like it's gonna be good.
The tone of it
A lot
looks
darker.
very serious, right?
Yep.
A lot
Darker
darker.
and serious.
Samuel L. Jackson, right? Even the Marvel logo, if you watch it spinning, there's like blood splatter on it. So it looks like they're definitely taking a much more serious, much more dramatic tone with it.
More on the Punisher side of things.
Yes, yeah, and I'm all for it.
And so be it, because they're going to be bringing all that back in. Daredevil, Punisher, and all that stuff. So letting at least some of the shows on Disney Plus to have a little more mature themes into them makes sense.
It does. And for Samuel L. Jackson, like, I'm pretty sure it was probably one of the things. He's like, if I'm going into this, I'm a part of S.H.I.E.L.D., spy, espionage, that whole thing. The cast looks great.
And
in it.
he's going to be the centerpiece.
Yeah.
So I don't recall too many things that Jackson has done where you're like, that was a bad thing.
I don't think he's
So-
ever done a TV show, right? I know he's done a shit ton of movies, but I don't know if he's ever done a TV show.
It's a newer.
I wonder if he has a motherfucker clause. Like, he gets one
One motherfucker per movie.
per episode.
Yeah, per episode. Hey, I'm in.
It's a newer thing to be able to do for actors to do television and streaming, because once you got onto the big screen, you're now making big money. You don't go backwards to the small screen. But now the small screen gets you just as much money, but more notoriety because you're in houses more often.
I know this was a favor to Quentin Tarantino, but he has done bad things. He was in The Hateful Eight. That's a pile of shit.
Okay.
That's a pile of
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
I don't think.
It took
saying.
him a second to remember The Hateful Eight.
Yeah. I was thinking, did he ever do anything bad? I'm like, no, I think I liked everything Samuel's ever been in. And then I was like, Hateful Eight. Never mind. One of the worst fucking movies I've seen in the last 50 years. That
what I
movie was a
find
pile of shit.
interesting is this.
I'd agree.
They're making it look like his final mission.
Yes.
And
Close out his storyline.
it's an interesting thing that I've noticed that we're getting to have now, that movies themselves have matured to the point where we have characters that are 30 years, 40 years in, and they're telling their last story. We've had it with Luke Skywalker. We're having it with Indiana Jones.
Right.
It looks like that's what they're doing here in Secret Invasion as well.
Right.
Where, we have these IPs that are, cherished, decades long, and the actors have literally been in them for so long that they're like, well, we can actually tell like an end story for this thing
But I wouldn't
that we've
put-
been following forever.
I wouldn't put Indiana Jones in this cherished, beloved shit. That
Well,
I mean,
pile of
People
shit.
love 1 and 2.
They do.
It's-
They love the movie.
It's gone downhill.
Yeah.
But they know that 1 and 2 has enough fanfare
Well-
that people are going to go see
I
whatever
think
they put out
people love
with his
Harrison
name on it.
Ford.
Well,
True.
the first 3 movies that they did, which are supposed to be the trilogy,
Right, the
were
original.
actually good.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom,
Yep.
and then The Last Crusade. They literally called it The Last Crusade.
Yep.
But they didn't make that the last movie.
Right.
But that
No,
was
they
that
brought it
was
back.
when a trilogy was. That was it.
Yeah.
Story's done. We wrapped it up. We managed to make 3 of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's-
then they got to do Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
But that's not the way it is
Yeah.
anymore. I mean, Star Wars has got 9.
Now it's the Something of Destiny. I don't know what the hell the new movie is called. Something of Destiny.
I'm just disinterested in Indiana Jones. Not my kind of a movie. I
I mean,
guess
you don't want to
know.
watch 75-year-old Harrison Ford
I
in a
do
fist
not.
fight?
I don't want to see Liam Neeson saving anyone. I don't want to see Harrison Ford. I don't want to see Luke Picard on another Star Trek show. I'm glad that that's ending as well.
Well, that was like Robert De Niro in The Irishman. There were people that talked about how like labored some of the punches that were thrown. Even with CGI covering it, they were like, "Oh damn, like
This is harsh.
that's an old man throwing a
It's-
punch right there."
It's a little rough.
If you're an old man, do old man shit.
I mean, let's be honest. I've seen better fighting out of Japan's parliament.
Oh, there you go.
Than,
Yo, them motherfuckers throw.
Dude,
okay? They be
they
throwing
went-
some judo
they
in
went
there.
straight,
Yeah.
straight to judo. My man threw him. Like, it was clean. It was nice.
Yeah, I believe he did. Yeah, Hadouken. Hadouken. I was like, yo.
Hadouken is not judo. God damn it.
No, but it's got to get to a point too where I think that some of the IPs have to either be passed on, or those beloved characters have to take on a new role in the same setting if they're going to be there. Picard, the last season, season 3, fixed what they fucked up in season 2. I think season 3 has been much more palatable. Season 2 had him doing the same things like an old Liam Neeson and old
Yeah.
Harrison Ford, where I'm just like, I'm watching sci-fi. There is a man who can think and do everything. His name is Q, and I
Yep.
still don't believe that Captain Picard is running at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's shit that's happening that is normal human activity that I'm like, I call bullshit on that.
I thought Patrick Stewart was in a wheelchair.
That's Professor Xavier, sir.
Oh,
yeah, wrong guy.
Wrong
Yeah,
franchise.
Yeah, wrong franchise. Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. I saw Multiverse of Madness. All right, never mind. My bad. My bad, people.
Oh man, have you guys caught up on the Mandalorian?
I literally,
Absolutely.
I caught up earlier, right before this podcast.
Fucking great. I think this season of The Mandalorian
Best
has
one yet.
done Star Wars justice all across the board. One of the gripes that we had about that other show that will not be named.
There could be, just for you Matt Hiltons out there, there could be spoilers about to be dropped from some of our mouths.
Yes.
So if you are still listening and you do not want to be spoiled, just
3,
stop.
2,
1.
1. All right, so they brought Cara Dune back. I'm just kidding.
I wish.
No,
There's talks that she may be coming back.
Yes. But they are
There's
showing
also people
more.
speculating that she was dead on that freighter.
Yeah, I hope so.
God.
That what's his
They-
name
That's
escaped
how they
from.
got rid of her.
They're showing more aliens, more alien species, more
Yep.
interactions with droids, more Star Wars stuff that we love to see in these last few episodes of The Mandalorian.
The cuttlefish people?
And I love it, yeah. And Jack Black, what a fucking delight. Everybody's like, what about Lizzo? I'm like, fuck Lizzo. Jack Black was in the fucking Mandalorian.
I couldn't care about Liz.
Well,
I hope that she's.
but she was good.
It's
She was
my
good.
favorite thing she's ever done.
I mean, she was good,
Yeah.
but I'm like, but Jack Black.
Yeah. I hope that she was in there because she's a fan of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's not Star Wars trying to bring somebody in that they hope will bring in a new
You mean like
crowd of
Megan
people
Thee
for no
Stallion
reason.
and
Yeah,
She-Hulk?
yeah. No, I think Lizzo genuinely looked like she had fun on the set, like, and she was playing around with baby Grogu. and
Yeah,
all
apparently
that,
that
so-
was in her contract. Was like, no, I get to hold the baby.
You know what? I believe the whole little interaction between her and Jack Black. I thought it was cute. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I liked it.
But the whole episode was fucking great. It's like they're just going on missions, doing
Christopher
their
Lloyd.
thing.
Yep.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yes.
Christopher Lloyd was in there. I was like, God damn.
Yes.
Doc
Brown is a bad guy.
The man in a DeLorean was in The Mandalorian.
He was a big fan.
Okay.
You see what I
Okay.
did there?
Hey, it was a big fan. He's a big fan of democracy, and he referenced Count Dooku.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, that's a throwback. He's like,
Yeah.
Count Dooku's
So-
my man.
From what I
He did.
understand, when they reunited Baby Grogu and the Mandalorian and Boba Fett, they didn't want that to happen, but it was forced on them. So when they even talk about that, he mentioned they won't mention who forced them when they did an interview recently with
right.
Filoni and whatnot. They won't mention who forced them, Kathleen Kennedy, to put them reunited in Boba Fett so people can go watch.
Right.
Because they wanted to do something else with it in The Mandalorian, which is why they also did a time jump of like 2 years.
Right.
Because they wanted to move things further for them just so that the baby's a little more capable
He's
as
gonna
well.
talk soon.
Sure, which
He's gonna
makes
talk
sense.
soon.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
Yes. Oh,
So-
for sure.
so-
You see,
Supposedly-
he got knighted, man. He wanted to talk
Yeah,
right then.
supposedly they had less interference on this season or supposedly none.
Yeah.
From what I understand, but they're moving this story along forward because they're gonna wrap it up in a movie. They announced that they're gonna tie up the Mandalorian thing with an actual movie for its ending. So we'll get something big budget for
Okay.
all of these storylines that
I'm
we
with
got
it.
on the
Okay,
streaming
Disney.
right now.
Okay,
And
Disney.
how do you guys feel about more Mandalorians, a part of the larger story versus just Din Djarin, which were dope. I love him, love his character. Personally,
Din Djarin's.
I'm really liking.
I mean,
more Mandalorians in the story.
They could have pushed it into being more of an anthology where every season or two it's swapping to a different Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And we're learning more of the Mandalorians through their perspective and what they're going through.
I think the only revolt.
Yeah, but then there's gonna be one
Grogu.
Mandalorian that's like
oh, there's gonna be one that's
Trans.
shit. There's gonna be one that's shit in between here and there.
a trans DeLorean.
I'm skipping that. Yeah, it's Mandalorian. I ain't watching that season. Brought to you by Bud Light.
But oh god!
fuck outta
All right,
here.
they shit the bed with that one, didn't they?
Yeah, but
Yeah, but anyway,
trying to make Kid Rock relevant again.
Oh man, so God
damn it,
exactly.
That video was pretty. It was just we shooting at him like this is rough. What do you
Well, then someone released a picture from back when he was doing like Bob with the Bob when he was actually relevant, and they showed him like at this nightclub he was hanging out with
drag queens and whatnot.
Yeah, but you know what
I was
though?
like, you're mad because you got sucked up by a drag queen.
But
years later,
this is as bad as when they took one of the Kardashians to like stop riots with a can of Pepsi.
Yeah,
I was like, you can't mix politics into your
I was thinking
your
Kardashian
food and drinks.
stop a fucking riot with a can.
No,
Oh, you never seen that?
Michael
You
Jordan
gotta watch this fucking commercial.
Michael
It's so
Jordan
bad.
said it best when they tried to get his political views. It was a Democratic thing, I believe, and he went, Republicans buy shoes also. I'm not giving my views. He's like, I'm not going to alienate half of my fucking audience.
Right.
Smart
Why?
man.
Why?
Smart man.
That's why he's the greatest.
Yep. He ain't dumb. He ain't fucking
You're
dumb.
a business. Stop giving us your politics.
Yeah. No, but what I was saying is with the Mandalorians, like I like that they're integrating more of their culture. I like that they went back to the original formula of like the episodes, like, you know, there's a longer story, but there's like a start and a finish where it's like something's happening
squeezing
to
a
push
lot.
along.
They're
this
squeezing
episode.
a lot in each episode. So I don't know if they're. But actually, Filoni is doing the movie. So Dave Filoni is who's going to do the movie to wrap it up. So him and Favreau have been working together. I want to say on writing the script and things like that because Dave Filoni does a lot of the shows,
Right.
but he's never done a movie. So it'll be his first movie. And it's going to be wrapping up these loose threads that are building up within The Mandalorian.
I'm with it. I mean, speaking of Star Wars, staying on the same page. I know you loved it, Ian. You want to bring it in here for us? Ahsoka.
Oh yeah, the Ahsoka trailer.
They're continuing the story of Star Wars Rebels
Yes.
in
Which
a
I have
show
never
called
seen.
Ahsoka.
So basically, it's
She's
about
in Rebels as well, actually.
700 hours of cartoons that you need to watch.
Yep.
Thank you.
Clone Wars,
I think-
Rebels. Just the Rebels.
I think
is
Rebels
the
is what, 3 seasons or
watch. It's
something
3
like that.
seasons. It's actually a good watch.
Freddie Prinze is in there. It's a really good show.
Yeah. But they're bringing in from the trailer Admiral Thrawn.
Yep.
They're bringing in Sabian Wren, which is also a Mandalorian type of a character.
Yep.
Friend of Ahsoka Tano.
Mm-hmm.
What was the green girl's name?
Oh, I'm drawing a blank now.
So there's a couple of characters that you'll
Gamora.
recognize from the
The whole crew.
Hulk.
Yeah.
She-Hulk.
The whole crew of Rebels is in there down to the droid. And with that being said, the last time we seen them, Ahsoka was headed out to go look for the Jedi that got lost at the end of the show. So it looks like we'll plausibly, with Thrawn being brought into this, be bringing in at least one more Jedi. But we do know we have a lot more, at least, Force users. Their lightsabers look a little more orange than red. And I know I'm not the first person to notice that. When I was watching it, I'm like, that's funny. And I seen a couple breakdowns that everyone's like, those look orange. They don't look red. They don't look like Sith users. So do we have, from the unknown regions, a new sect of Force users,
Right.
because of the downfall of so many Sith and Jedis at this point that another faction popped up? Or were these people always here in the background, maybe in the unknown regions, and now when Thrawn gets back from the unknown region, he's brought some new people with him to help take over?
Or is it just bad CGI from Disney Plus and it should be red?
Could be
It's
that.
plausible.
that.
It's plausible that they're
Right?
We saw the She-Hulk.
Disney has done a lot of that in their trailers for all the Marvel movies, where they change things from the trailer to in the movie something different, where they take characters out, add characters in, and all kinds of things like that.
Because there was rumors to have the Hulk busting out of the Hulk Buster suit
Originally, that was supposed to
in
happen.
the movie,
Yeah.
in order to fight and get his kind of like his redemption arc at the end of the Infinity Wars, but they never did that.
No, because what they wanted to do was have him get to the Professor Hulk persona. So they didn't want to have him come back out as Hulk, and then when the next time we see him, he's Professor Hulk. So they're like, it would be better to just not have him transform here, and then when the next time we see him, he's reconciled with himself,
Right.
where he couldn't transform back out and blah blah blah. So we'll do it that way instead. So I get why they did it. I think it would have been a good moment to see him bust out of the fucking suit, though.
The only other disappointing moment that we didn't get, and not taking anything away from the Infinity War,
She-Hulk shower scene.
That would be all right.
Okay.
Was Wolverine's suspected appearance in one of the fight scenes where you just see you don't even need any reason for him to be there other than he's just fucking shit up.
In the background, you see Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
just
bro,
one
come on,
one optic blast in the background or something.
Yeah. A little X-Men action, you know what I mean? A little tornado coming in from the east. You know what I mean? Little something. But I've actually been watching the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe from the beginning, and I'm already at the Black Widow movie right now. A lot of things that I forgot, a lot of things that I enjoyed along the way.
I never saw the Black Widow movie.
It's actually
It's
like
a good
a
movie.
Jason Bourne-esque movie.
It's worth a watch.
Really, really
Is it?
good.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as they killed her, I was like,
No, I'm telling you, it's as a standalone. It did come out too late. Eddie made the point.
That's the thing. They ended their own steam with the character because you're like, oh, we're gonna see her movie now after she's dead.
you
Right.
killed her, and then the actress was complaining about
Yeah.
money, and I was like,
But it's a fantastic. But she wasn't even wrong though, too, because what they tried to do was screw her out of her movie money by making it a digital release, and she's like, "Hey, what the fuck? I get a part of that money then because if you're not putting it out as
My
agreed,
contract
my
says I
contract-
get some of the tickets. So if the tickets don't get sold,
Then I should get some of the
chunk
streaming.
of my contract no longer gets fulfilled, and I get screwed
Yeah.
out of the money.
Yeah, so they try to make
And
her to be
it's-
the villain, but if you really look at it, it's like somebody's telling you, like, hey, man, I'll pay you for all of your hours when you work, and then when you're on call, we'll also pay you. And then, you know, you stay home, you don't go out, you don't drink, and then you don't get your on-call pay. You'd kind of be fucking...
you'd be a little irritated.
You'd be a little mad. You'd be a little mad. You know what I mean?
pissed.
So I get her point, but the Black Widow movie, absolutely really good. Much more serious tone. A lot of action, a lot of karate, a lot of shooting.
Yep.
Karate don't work.
MMA.
It's a street level movie.
Yes,
so
it is.
people are fighting.
And that's where they really introduced the new Black Widow, her sister.
Yep.
Leading up to the Hawkeye
Yeah,
series.
and she's fantastic in this
Okay,
movie.
all right.
Yeah. I think you would enjoy it. What other trailers do we have, Eddie?
Well, we're just
Barbie,
we're
Ahsoka.
gonna just end the thrawn.
Go
Right
for
there.
it. Go for what else did you want to talk about?
You were
Thrawn?
you were like mid thought and like changed to fucking Marvel.
Hey, he brought in the Black Widow. I was what about Thrawn did you want to talk about? Go for it.
I'm not even sure where we left off when you
Yeah.
just jumped ship to something
Thrawn
else.
is the old white-haired guy. with
He's the
heart.
blue face.
No,
guy.
he's a
What?
blue face
Admiral Thrawn
guy.
is the blue face guy.
In the books, in the show he's a bad motherfucker as well. But in the books, he essentially almost restarts the entire thing after the Sith go away on his own, like 5 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's an asshole.
He's a super strategic
Yeah.
villain.
Didn't he
Okay.
have the other guy on his side from the Obi-Wan show, the Grand Inquisitor?
Yeah,
as well?
he has a whole slew of he
Yeah.
essentially takes over after Palpatine and all that. And all those kind of Sith fade away. He steps right in and he takes over like no problem. I don't need to be a Force user to cause problems for fucking everybody.
Do you feel satisfied now?
A little
talking
bit.
about Thrawn? Okay.
A little
You
bit.
know what I wasn't satisfied with? Snoke. Who the
Snoke.
fuck was that guy?
A clone.
Yes.
Yeah, but he like showed up. We expected him to be like this big bad guy, and then like he fucking get
Well,
wiped out.
it's a Palpatine clone, and that's
Yeah.
what he looks like. So he didn't come out very well out of the oven.
no,
Yeah.
he didn't.
No.
No, he didn't. He had some chromosomes. missing.
Yeah, he cooked a little too long.
Yeah, I
or
mean,
not long enough.
it looks like a lot of why they're trying to get to Baby Grogu is because they need his blood for part of the cloning process, but they're also trying to put their innate force sensitive ability into the clones to make him stronger at the same time.
And if you want to dive a little deeper into it, like I think some of the cloning issues that they're trying to discuss was in the Mandalorian episode 2
Yes.
with this guy.
Yeah, with the
being
scientist.
The scientist. So, I mean, I think there's some of that dives into this Snooky baby looking so shitty. Yeah, Snooky baby.
I think Ahsoka's gonna be interesting. She's in a time frame they can fill a ton of plot holes like who finalized Luke's training.
Yeah.
She's around And the best person to finalize his training would be, hey, Darth Vader's Padawan, the person he was training.
Or Mace Windu.
Mace Windu would be fun to see again.
Bring Mace
so
Windu in.
I do know in
Samuel
some
Jackson's
things
still around.
that are not canon, I want to say he's been brought back in. I don't know if he's been brought back in anything that is canon. But Filoni has slowly been stitching together all of the things that Disney removed from canon when they bought the IP. He's been just little by little like, yeah, but this thing, it's canon again. Oh, this book? And bring it in. So
it's smart of him to bring the shit that he made into the main storyline. And it makes sense, too,
and it's the
because
stuff that the
he can pull
fans
into.
it's the stuff that the fans liked. And he did a tremendous amount of work stitching together all the bits and pieces in between the movies with storyline that helped make things make more sense. Like in the prequels, the reason why Anakin has such a tone shift from the second movie to the third movie is because he's in the Clone Wars, he's slowly being alienated by the Council of Jedi, where
It's not post-nut clarity.
They give
from
him
having sex with.
No, they
What's her name?
Padme.
Padme. He's like, I shouldn't have done that.
They
Padme
give him
Amidala?
I'm evil now.
'Cause
I'm
they-
totally evil now. I'm gonna kill everyone.
They give him the full
Where are the children?
responsibilities of our master Jedi, but then they keep undoing what he's doing, and
of
even at
course.
the end, they drive away Ahsoka, who is his Padawan, who they gave him to train.
Sure.
So when he's going into that movie, it's literally they falsely accused his Padawan of bombings that wasn't her, and then they found out it was this other person, but she was like, fuck it, at this point, I'm done. I'm leaving the Jedi Order. So then he's going into that third movie
Big old chip.
alienated completely
Big
from
old chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. As he should. As he should.
Dave's done such
And that's where he becomes a toaster strudel.
a great job eventually.
Because he didn't take
At
the
the
high
end.
ground. He
At the
didn't take the
end,
high
yeah.
ground.
a little bit later in there, yeah.
Don't attack if they have the high ground.
Yeah.
That's in Sun Tzu's
So
book. Don't do
he's
that.
he's done a lot
Don't
to
do that.
stitch that all together, and then to even with this, we're going into Ahsoka. It looks like he's bringing in the last bit of some of the cartoon stuff with Rebels and merging all that in. So there's a lot of little fan theories like
I say why
Ahsoka
not?
training
I say why not?
Luke to fight his father,
There's too
which is
much.
how he's able to
There's
win.
too-
That's in there.
I gotta watch Clone Wars.
Yeah, man.
I gotta
Listen,
watch
it's just like
Rebels.
Marvel. Now
Oh
you got
my
to catch
god!
up.
Exactly. I
Was-
feel like a new Marvel
Was
fan.
Cad Bane in Rebels? I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to see some more Cad
Now,
Bane.
what
He was
they're
a dope character.
what they're also trying to do is
Best
make
part of Boba
things.
Fett.
Yeah.
They're trying to make things stand alone on their own, and they weren't allowed to do that. And with the Boba Fett and things like that, which is why there was some weird things where you're like, "There's 2 episodes of Mandalorian here. Why is that?"
Yeah,
well, because they were forced to.
Yeah, the black Wookiee, the big black Wookiee, and Cad Bane.
Chrysanthemum?
Chris Santhan.
Chrysanthemum.
Yeah. Chris Santhan.
So and
Definitely like
He was
and,
awesome. Yeah.
and the Rey Skywalker will be getting a movie here again as
great.
well. It looks like there's some things that they
Why?
announced a whole bunch of stuff. Well, it looks like some heads are on the chopping block, and they have time frames in which they need to do certain things, or their contracts can be canceled.
What
so
about
to
that
speak.
dude that we thought was gonna be important and be possibly like an interracial love interest,
Now-
Boba Fett?
but did not turn into be anything?
His
Boba Fett?
no, the fucking guy.
Now here's the thing. His
guy,
take.
He's so outspoken on the bullshit because
That's
he
what
was
I'm getting
supposed to be
to.
a Jedi. Yeah, he was.
He's
He was supposed to be a
softened his
Jedi.
stance dramatically over the last few weeks here, and I think that is so that they can bring him back in. I think there may be
They
talks
offered him
to.
some money.
Yeah.
I think
And he shut the fuck
He
up.
shut the
He's
fuck
like,
up.
I really don't like what you guys did. They kicked open the door. They're like, Disney money.
That's right.
exactly
Disney money. And
So
He's like, hey
you know
guys,
what? Hey, I feel a little better about
their
it.
creativity is getting better.
Yeah.
I think a lot of. I think
Where's
a lot
Mickey?
of
Now
that
kiss his
was
ass.
because Kathleen Kennedy is the head of all the Star Wars stuff, and it looks like it's finally getting to the point where they're pushing out her influence, and they're getting to start telling stories without so much influence because the influence has thus far been bad.
Yeah, whoever
So-
was in charge of Boba Fett at the start of it, whoever the hell that
because
Yeah,
even
they
even
suck.
Yeah, they got rid
what's
of
her
her
name
ass.
that played Rey
have to.
Skywalker wasn't looking to come back at all, but it looks like
Wait a
no.
minute, wait, Ray wasn't Ray?
She's
Palpatine?
she's a Palpatine,
Okay.
but she
Yeah.
calls herself at the end Skywalker.
Okay.
what are we doing here? It's like a guy walking into a women's restroom and they're like, yeah, no. I identify as a Skywalker.
Well, here's the
give a
thing.
fuck. You're still a Palpatine.
If she walks around saying that she's a Palpatine, everybody's coming to murder her.
That's true.
I'm with it. It makes her story much more compelling.
It does. She'd be a lot more badass if she was fighting people.
Yeah, what I really need to see from Star Wars is a live action, that samurai motherfucker.
Yep.
You could do the cartoon. The cartoon is dope. I'd watch that too. But I wouldn't mind seeing like some live action. Simu Liu, you're on Marvel's payroll. Bring his ass in and make him the fucking
I'm not angry at that pick.
What I would like is a 2-hour-long musical involving those kids from the show. That's what I want. I want those kids to have their own 2-hour special.
Man. What are you gonna bring?
Lady Gaga in.
Oh yeah, Lady Gaga,
Joaquin Phoenix.
The Weeknd. You could have a bunch of people. Lizzo would definitely be a part of it. Lizzo could come in.
Oh my god.
Lizzo could be a hut.
Bring back the girl from She-Hulk. What's
Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion. Just
There'd be a bunch of people
make
that
it
would be a
whole
part
party.
of it.
Nah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Those
you know
kids
who won't
could
be a part of that party? This guy.
Oh wait, you're gonna cancel your subscription that month?
No, but I just
Exactly.
won't watch it.
No.
Okay.
But they announced a bunch of stuff coming forward with Star Wars, and it looks like they're doing a lot of things to plug the holes in the timeline between all the movies that we've seen so far and all the shows that we've seen so far. And I think it'll actually give us like a solid chunk of timeline from, where we originally, the oldest movie timeline wise to where we are now with the last trilogy of movies that came out. And then they're going to go forward from there. So hopefully it'll start continuing the story. We won't have to keep playing, whack-a-mole with all these little bits and pieces, because it was always movies and you only have so much time to tell a story in a movie where you can't get into every little bit of minutia of everything that happened. I mean, the movies even jump time where we don't see all of Luke's training because it's outside of the movie. We don't see all of Rey's training because Leia is a Jedi Master. Luke finished her training after the third movie, which is originally the sixth movie. So Leia
God
actually
damn it, Star Wars.
So Leia is the
See the
person.
layers?
So when we see Rey later and Rey later, she was trained by a master. She was trained by Leia. So we don't see it, but they hint at it where Leia's talking to her and she's in the middle of doing some training things. Oh, but if you don't know that Leia in the comics finished her training and actually was a stronger Jedi at the end than Luke was.
Not believable.
Yeah.
Well, here's why she
Debatable.
She gives up her training. She actually becomes so strong in the Force, she starts seeing the future like Anakin did, and she starts seeing the things that's going to happen to her family in the future. So she gives up using the Force like that to try to avoid that future.
I thought it was because her hair was too tight.
So Anakin does the opposite.
Do you think that Luke's training might have been affected by all that weird alien titty milk he was drinking on that plane?
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly.
I was gonna
What do
say.
they call it? What do they call the milk?
I don't know.
It's
The
just
blue milk.
It's just blue milk.
Yeah, it was
milk.
so bad.
Ugh.
It was so bad.
Have you ever tried that?
No.
At Disney?
No.
They have blue milk at Disney.
Oh, okay.
You want
All
blue
right,
titty
no.
milk?
Yeah.
You don't want
If
blue
anyone
titty
out there is complaining about the fucking vaccine and they drink that blue titty Disney milk, I don't want to fucking hear.
Listen,
your
all I'm
opinion.
saying is hundreds and thousands of people pass through Disney. No COVID.
So I mean, that's a chunk of story that people don't realize. Anakin saw the future,
Right.
and to fight the future, he went headlong against fighting it to try to change it, and he failed. Leia saw the future and chose to do the opposite of her father, and got, unfortunately, an evil son. But
Yeah,
it
happens.
almost turned out like, hey, you trying to not do the thing,
Force is
it
balanced.
still happens.
The Force is balanced.
It balances
so forever
itself.
good.
So
there's
they say.
bad. Right.
So they
yes.
say.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what they would like you to believe.
I think maybe Leia saw the future because of all the drugs the actress was doing.
Yes.
She did do a lot of drugs.
She did do a lot.
I mean,
of
she
drugs.
did grow up in the 70s, I believe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true. That is
Yeah.
true.
All right, so look, let's end this on this, right? Because we did have a pre-prediction a couple episodes ago about where the dark saber in the Mandalorian was going to end up. How did you guys feel about the way that they kind of?
I don't know if I had mentioned it on the show, but I did
Gave
mention.
it up.
I did mention at one point he lost the saber in a fight.
But they made it
and then she won it. In a fight.
But what they did show in the preview to it, the thing was, you said she never gave it back. They made it the very first thing that they show him picking it up, putting it like in his
True.
satchel.
Very true. They
Like,
pointed
they
out the
deliberately
saber.
showed you him getting it back.
The
So I was
saber
like,
is in this episode.
something is happening
Yes.
with this. I don't mind the way that they gave it to her. I think it was inevitable, and they didn't want them two to have a fight because they've been getting along so much.
No.
Still think she should have killed him.
I mean, it almost looks like looks like
Same.
Din is dad, and she is mom on Grogu here.
Yeah.
Now, I have seen some people speculating that Grogu is Yoda's child
Yes,
because there
Yoda
was
and
two
Yaddle.
of his species
God, that's
on the council,
imagine the fucking
Eddie
noises.
thought Yaddle was pretty hot.
and Grogu was hidden. Was actually
denial.
hidden in the temple to the point where he had a series of guards with him at all times because of what his species was. All the other younglings were somewhere else.
Right.
They should just
Grogu was separated,
that's artificial
and
insemination.
people are speculating that part of Vader's job, why he was where the younglings were, was he was supposed to be going to go get Grogu, and failed.
Well,
Okay.
comes full
Because
circle.
of the rage.
And then Jar Jar Binks comes in and saves the baby.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, I like
The
this
actor
version of
that
Jar
played-
Jar Binks way better. And you know what? Good for the man. He deserves a little redemption after years of being just
Yeah.
smashed and mauled by the Star
Now,
Wars
technically,
community.
he
Yeah.
was supposed to have a purple lightsaber. He's one of the other users that had a purple lightsaber. He did
But why not?
You gotta be black.
he did a Star Wars show,
Damn it.
and that's his
Name the
character.
purple lightsaber.
Star.
That was his character on the Star Wars show, and apparently he had a purple lightsaber.
Right.
They didn't give him the purple one there, but he was also dual wielding lightsabers and whatnot,
I
which
mean,
was nice to see.
mean,
Maybe he
why
had
not?
to pick. Maybe they said, "Hey, you can either have a purple lightsaber or you can dual wield." He
But,
was
I'm like, I'll take two.
But he,
I'll take two.
I got a lot to make up for.
his character background is he is supposed to be one of the bad motherfuckers with lightsaber fighting.
Nice.
So it was nice to see that man get some redemption, considering the apology tour he's had to be on for the last 20 years.
Yeah, well,
Or so-
I mean, I even rewatched episode 1 like a couple years ago, and it's still bad. Like,
Yeah.
Jar Jar is the worst part of that.
He is a
movie.
hard watch.
It is.
Unfortunately,
It is.
It is.
It hurts. Like, each line he says hurts you.
Yes, it definitely does. So, did you guys even answer the question? But that's
I'm
cool.
happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. I'm fine with it.
All right, I'm happy with it too, Eddie.
Yeah,
what was the question?
The question is,
Are
you happy with the
Did Yaddle
transition
get
of? Yeah.
yoinked by Yoda?
That's right.
I'm not.
How big is Yoda's cock?
Is it 2 times his body weight?
Right. And do you think it is more superior in length or girth?
And does he use the Force to control it?
Right. Oh my god. I can't believe that they conceived that child. Take it, you must.
He could be across the room and just be like, shoink.
Oh, come on. He floats it.
He floats it.
God
And
damn
Eddie,
it.
ended on that, please.
Horny you are.
Yeah. Want me very much, you do.
Thank you for joining us at the Silver Kingdom podcast, where all this fucking stupidity lives.
Oh my god.
We love y'all. If you're still listening, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and be sure to be on the lookout for the Yoda and Yaddle sex tape that we will be releasing soon.
Yes, starring Eddie.
Eddie does Yaddle.
He's going to play both characters.
Hey, don't assume Yoda's gender. You don't know. Maybe he's the woman.
Fair. No, Ed makes a good point. Ed, we don't know anything about their sex
He
organs.
could be the Trans-DeLorean.
They do speak backwards. Maybe everything else is backwards.
Oh god.
Oh, God.
Oh god.
Oh. All right, you just fucked up my...
Like they do everything
rest
we
of my
do, but
day.
in reverse.
Imagine
Spider-Man 2099 in the Spider-Verse trailer looks like he has some fangs.
Yes.
He looks a little vampire-y
Oh god.
when he's running at the screen midway through the trailer.
I smell Jared Leto.
Check it out. Imagine if he's played by the same character, played by Jared Leto. It's morbid. It's morbid. Oh my god. I wouldn't be surprised if they slipped in a morbid joke.
They go super Spider-Man meme in there where they got like 20 Spider-Man pointing at each other.
Oh yeah, yeah.